Precision, power, a rifle once deemed as the right arm of the free world. Hi, this is Mr. Ghost. I'm also starting this upload a few hours after the last one, and playing another marksman rifle. This is a lot of pain for my eyes, but at least I really like both rifles I have recently covered. With all that being said, today I will be covering the FAL from Killing Floor 2 on this episode of Gaming Armory. The FAL, or Fabrique Nationale Fusil Automatique Léger. I can't speak French, I'm sorry. Anyways, the FAL is a battle rifle chambered in a very nice 7.62x51 round. Adopted during the Cold War, the FAL had received the previously mentioned title as the right arm of the free world, seeing service in various ways, like the L1A1 with the British and many more. Originally, this rifle was built with the 7.92x33mm Kurtz cartridge as a follow-up to the STG-44, but the British had requested that other prototypes be built, especially one with a 280 British cartridge. After quite a bit of back and forth between the FN, the British, the US, everyone landed on using the cartridge which is now known as 7.62 NATO. It is worth noting that the US ultimately adopted the M14 rifle instead, which I will discuss soon. Hey guys, Mr. Ghost in post-production here. I decided to discuss this segment more right now. To inform y'all, the first two calibers that the FAL were designed in were the 7.92x33mm Kurtz round and the 280 British round. The rifle would have been much more controllable and had similar performance in AKM with the Kurtz round, and would have been much more like an M16 with the 280 British round. So, in other words, it would have been much more controllable when fired in full auto. However, the United States insisted on a uniform cartridge that essentially strong-armed the 7.62x51mm NATO round into service. Not only would they push this cartridge in which other members of NATO would begrudgingly agreed, the US would renegotiate the deal and adopt the inferior M14 rifle into service. The US would make a better design later down the road, after two failed attempts, but we don't talk about that. Also, the FAL would have been inferior to the G3 rifle, although the G3 rifle did come second. Now, I cannot speak to their functionality in the real world, nor their comparison in Killing Floor 2, because there is no G3 in Killing Floor 2. Also, the FAL is still used by many nations' armies and police forces to this day. Anyways, I just wanted to add a bit more to the history of the FAL and inform everyone a bit more. The original FAL from FN Herstal was produced from 1953 to 1988, although the rifle would be licensed and still be produced in many different names and variants. The FAL is a gas-operated select-to-fire battle rifle, meaning you can choose between firing in semi-automatic with some precision, or in full auto and probably break your shoulder from the recoil. The rifle does seem to shoot around 650 to 700 rounds per minute with the 7.62x51 round, so that's not very nice. In game, the FAL will fire at a rate of 606 rounds per minute if you're using the full auto mode, or a rate of 272 rounds per minute if you are using the semi-automatic mode. The FAL has a base 70 damage, and it is a tier 4 weapon, meaning that it will only get one upgrade, increasing the damage bonus by 15%. This rifle does benefit mostly from the sharpshooter class, but it will also receive benefits from the commando class. As I previously joked about, the recoil is quite hefty, and the rate of fire is fast, along with having only a total of 180 rounds while using this weapon. It is recommended that you do play in semi-automatic and pick off targets with precision. It is also worth noting that this rifle does seem to be more effective against flesh rounds due to its rifle type of ballistic damage. To rank the FAL in Killing Floor 2, I would honestly have to say S tier. I love the FAL and I look forward to an FAL anytime I see one in game. The FAL performs great, comes equipped with an ACOG, which is one of my favorite optics in games as well. I think I mentioned earlier, but the FAL is a multi-perk weapon, so it benefits from both sharpshooter and commando classes. And honestly, I believe that the FAL performs better with the commando class. The FAL is expensive and weighty, so maybe this gun would be A tier to most, but I am extremely biased. I love using the FAL whenever possible. Now, with all that being said, that wraps up my thoughts on this video, covering the Kill & Sword 2 FAL. If you have any thoughts, please leave them down below. I would love to hear any suggestions for next videos that you have. With all that being covered, I hope you have a great day. This has been Mr. Ghost. See you soon.